This is a mystery PC that I have bought from eBay. It was part of a number of other PCs. If I work out how much everything cost, I've put this at £1, and this is the more interesting one of the three PCs because it was listed as not working and no other information was given except for the fact that they thought it looked like it was from 1998. So this will be a surprise for me as much as it is you. It looks like it's quite a fat 80/80X case. Some old school stuff here, but interestingly there's a graphics card, there's a sound card, there's a modem, power supply with one of these grills and a switch, which means it should be of reasonable quality. And this is above this section so that the case is smaller, but it also is wider. And the CD-ROM drive is a Creative, as you can see here. PC2, multimedia PC, eject, play button, volume, headphones, busy, compact disc. There's a reset, there's a power. There is no turbo button, that's where the badge would have gone. So let's open it up and see what we've got. It was listed as not working, but hopefully, or maybe we'll be able to get this working. But first let's have a look what's actually in the system. Assuming that there is anything. They did say they've removed the hard drive, which is fine, but we don't know what else may or may not be in there. Okay, let's pull this off. Put that somewhere for me to stub my toes on later. Okay, this is the back. Oh look, it's got a sort of physical looking power switch there. May or may not be physical, but it feels kind of physical. But then it doesn't have the wires needed for the old 80 style power supply. Okay, and this side we don't have a hard drive, we don't have a floppy drive. Floppy drive's been moved and put into another system. Basically with this design, the power supply means you have to remove the power supply to get access. And I can see something quite interesting in here. It's newer than I expected actually. I was expecting a socket 7 system or a super socket 7 system, but it looks like we have got a, wait for it, I will reveal this in a second once I've undone this screw. Trying not to drop the power supply on everything. Suspense, the suspense. And the reveal. We have got a slot 1 system here. It's fairly modern. Well, it's got a 3-pin connector, so it's not as old as Super Socket 7. And if I can read that, it looks like a 450, 512, 100. So that looks like a Pentium II 450. Nice. Power supply is very heavy. It's a HEC. It looks like it's been taken apart because that is not lined up anymore, and that side's not lined up anymore. Interesting. keep going. Let's have a look what we've got. In fact, I will test the power supply. We've got this power tester. It's reasonable enough. This power supply has got both or it's got half. It's got a sort of modernish. It's got a AT style. It's also got a CPU and then a bunch of standard Molex, no SATA. It's a 300 watt power supply. Ooh! You're joking! It's a, let me show you this bit here. This is why I just got very excited. It's a 3DFX AGP graphics card. That's fantastic. That's, wow. That's, I mean, looks like maybe Banshee Voodoo 2. No, not Voodoo 2. Banshee maybe? Who knows? Modem, sound card, some memory. This is the Pentium II 450. That's the motherboard, ABBH6. So that'll be an Abit, potentially. Nice. I'll see if there's any writing on this. Oh yeah, here we go. Just bash the camera. Nothing actually useful on that label, but it does have numbers. G33AV320. Useful. Why don't they just, you know, say somewhere what it actually is? PC100 SDRAM. That is a 64 meg stick of RAM. That could not have been better, to be honest. The capacitors all look fine. On the motherboard there is a loose screw floating around that's going to cause issues if I don't remove it. PC speaker at the front. Creative CD220. Does it have a date anywhere? Alright. Well, let's get a bit excited then about the graphics card. Let's test this power supply. Okay, so we're going to try this power supply. You know, it could just be the power supply that's dead. Could be something else. Is this on? No, it's off. So I'm going to connect the power. I'm going to, can you see that? I'm going to move my hand away slightly and I'm going to switch it on. Okay. That's very quiet. Fan does work. Let's check a Molex connector. Yeah, that works. Check a floppy drive. That works. And we can check the this thingy bob. And it's not necessary for the system, but why not check it anyway? That's fine. So power supply is okay. Meow meow. It doesn't actually look like this has been opened because there's a screw under here, and this hasn't been opened. So what I will do is simply unscrew this. See if I can get the case back to where it's meant to be. Hirochi Electronic Co. Worldwide famous power band, Power brand, HEC. I've never heard of them. Are they worldwide famous? That's what they say. So, shall we actually try and switch it on? Should you put this back, switch it on? I may as well reseat all of the components, because that can help. Okay, so let us move the graphics card. I'll probably take out the modem, because does anyone actually use modems anymore? I'm definitely not going to. That's the graphics card. I don't know what brand that is. E-tron Tech memory. Product in Mexico. 3DFX. Does that mean it's a 3DFX made card? Could be. So that looks fine. Ooh, I said the capacitors look fine, but in actual fact, there may be some that are not. So that could be the fault with this system. Get rid of the modem. It's a Nito Dragon V92. Looks like there might be 1, 2, 3 capacitors behind the processor that have bulges. This is a HSP CMI 8738 PCI-SX Soundcard. Let's remove the memory. This is a massive, I mean, look how big that is. 64 meg DIMM module. Weird brand of chip on it, double-sided, PC100. Patent pending. Says lock up, open down. Aha. Clicks, reassuring clicks. So, CPU. For 55, 12, 100, 2.0 volts, 98. Can we have a look under here? Let's show us anything fun. Aha! Ooh, Pentium III. Haha. That's cool. Does that just come off? Oh no, this comes off from the heatsink. And look at that. There's no thermal paste. It's just like a thermal pad. These are the cache chips. Huh. That is funny. Back in the day. It's a shame this covers up the logo and everything. Nice, Pentium III 450. So here, if I get closer, then we can see the 3 capacitors. 1, 2, 3 that are not flat. This one's flat. In fact, all the others are flat. These 3 here are not flat. But apart from that, the board looks pretty decent. So let's put it all back together, and it's relatively dust free. Put it all back together and switch it on, See if it works. Is that locked? Doesn't click when you pull it up. That's frustrating, or rather disappointing. We will put the graphics card in. That's pretty essential. And we will put the memory in first because this catch is interfering. We will leave out the sound card, we'll leave out the modem, because at the moment we just want to see if we can get this to switch on. And see if anything posts on the screen, or if it beeps, or whatever happens. So, let's get a power cable, monitor cable, and a power supply. You're in the danger of balancing a power supply precariously above your computer. It's slipping in and damaging everything and killing everything that may or may not be working. So that's our power cable in, power cable to the power supply, and graphics card connected, keyboard, put the keyboard in, and then shall we look at the system, see what happens when I press the power button now. Nothing. Oh, switch to power supply, and that helps, doesn't it? Power button now. Okay. Noise. This is spinning. It's doing one beep and the screen has come on. Pentium III CPU at 300 MHz. That's obviously wrong. CMOS checksum error. Let's have a look. Well, that to me, for the time being, actually looks like it's working. So let's put this to 450, the actual speed of the processor. Just ignore all this for now. It does have two USB sockets on the back. Right, let's save that and exit and see what happens. No power connected to the CD drive. That's another thing we can do, is check if there's anything left in there. Voodoo 3 2000. That's what the graphics card is. Let's see what happens when we press eject. No CD, but it does eject happily. Well, I'd call that a resounding, surprising success. Obviously I'll need to install an operating system on it, see if it's happy running with these capacitors that are faulting, perhaps replace them in the future. But wow, yeah, nice system.